Success doesn't happen by luck or magic. It's built one deliberate habit at a time. Every choice you make, every small action you take is a brick in the foundation of your future. The truth is, champions aren't born. They're built in the quiet moments when no one's watching. It's in the discipline to wake up early, to keep going when you feel like quitting, to stay focused when distractions scream for your attention. Success isn't an event, it's a lifestyle. And every habit you build today is shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start creating it, one powerful habit at a time. Success is a result of consistent habits, not luck. When we look at those who have achieved greatness, it's easy to assume they were simply born with a gift, blessed with the right opportunities, or favored by fortune. But beneath every story of try and a quiet, unwavering commitment to discipline and consistency. Habits, not chance, are the true architects of success. Every repeated action, every routine choice, every decision to show up when others give up. These are the invisible forces that shape destinies. Luck might open a door once, but habits determine whether you can walk through it and stay there. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful rarely lies in talent or intelligence. It lies in consistency, the power to do the right things repeatedly until they become a natural part of who you are. The athlete who trains before dawn, the entrepreneur who studies their craft daily, the artist who practices even when uninspired. They are all driven by the same force, habit. Consistency transforms effort into excellence. It molds discipline into destiny. It's not the grand gestures or the rare moments of brilliance that create success, but the steady rhythm of doing small things well, over and over again. Habits are powerful because they operate below the level of conscious thought. Once established, they carry you forward even when motivation fades. You don't need to feel inspired every day if your habits are strong enough to carry you through the moments when you don't. People often wait for motivation to strike, but the truth is motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. Habits, on the other hand, are stable anchors that keep you grounded in action. The person who relies on motivation will start strong and fade quickly. The person who relies on habits will progress slowly, but they will never stop. Over time, that consistency compounds into extraordinary results. Every habit you cultivate is a seed planted in the soil of your future. Some seeds grow quickly, others take years to show their strength, but each one matters. Waking up early, exercising, reading, setting goals, showing gratitude, managing time wisely. These may seem small, but together they create a framework for success. The compound effect of good habits is unstoppable. Just as a river carves valleys over time, consistent habits shape your life in ways you can't see day by day, but will one day look back on in awe. Those who attribute success to luck overlook the daily grind behind every achievement. Luck may help you get noticed once, but it cannot sustain you. The singer who gets a lucky break but lacks the habit of vocal training will fade. The entrepreneur who stumbles upon an opportunity but doesn't have the discipline to execute will lose it. Luck is like lightning. It strikes suddenly and fades quickly. Habits are like the sun. They rise every day, bringing growth and light. If you build your life on habits, you build something that lasts beyond circumstances, beyond emotion, beyond luck. Developing consistent habits requires intention. You must decide what kind of person you want to become, and then build habits that align with that identity. If you see yourself as a disciplined, successful individual, your actions will follow that belief. Identity and habit are deeply connected. Every time you follow through on a good habit, you reinforce the belief that you are becoming that person. Each act of consistency strengthens your self-image, and soon, success feels natural. It's no longer something you chase, it's something you live. But creating good habits doesn't happen overnight. It demands patience, repetition, and persistence. You'll face days when you don't feel like doing what you know you should. You'll have setbacks and distractions. But consistency is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Missing one day doesn't destroy progress, but giving up entirely does. The most successful people aren't those who never fail. They're those who never stop trying. They understand that habits are built through repetition, not emotion. You keep showing up until it becomes automatic. You keep practicing until it becomes effortless. When you understand that habits, not luck, determine success, you take back your power. You stop waiting for the right opportunity, the right timing, or the right feeling. You realize that the future is not something you find, it's something you build. And you build it one habit at a time. Every small, consistent step forward, no matter how insignificant it seems, is a victory over stagnation. The more you repeat the right actions, the more momentum you gain. And momentum is the hidden force that propels you toward greatness. The people who change their lives are not the ones who make one big change once a year. They are the ones who make small changes every single day. They wake up early not because they have to, but because they choose to. They read instead of scrolling. They plan instead of guessing. They act instead of waiting. Each habit may seem ordinary on its own, but together they create extraordinary results. The person who builds habits builds freedom. Freedom from procrastination, from inconsistency, from fear. Because when your habits are aligned with your goals, your success becomes inevitable. Success doesn't happen by chance. It's not a roll of the dice or a lucky coincidence. It's the outcome of deliberate repetition, focused effort, and disciplined behavior. Every great success story is, at its core, a story of consistency, of someone who refused to rely on luck and instead built habits that shaped their destiny. When you commit to the process and trust the power of habits, success becomes less a dream and more of a predictable result of who you've become. Small daily actions shape long-term outcomes. Every major success story begins not with one grand leap, but with a series of small, seemingly insignificant steps taken day after day. The truth is, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's built quietly in the background through consistent daily effort. Every choice you make today, no matter how small, is a vote to the kind of future you want to create. Whether you choose to wake up early or hit snooze, to eat clean or indulge carelessly, to read a page or scroll endlessly, each action carries a consequence that compounds over time. Greatness is not born in moments of intensity. It's forged in moments of consistency. The smallest disciplines, repeated with faith, lead to the greatest rewards. The reason most people never reach their full potential is not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they underestimate the power of small daily actions. They think big results require big moves, so they wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, or the perfect plan. But perfection never comes. What truly creates change is the ability to act now, to do what you can with what you have, even if it feels small. Small actions may not give instant results, but their impact multiplies when repeated over weeks, months, and years. The person who walks for 30 minutes daily will, over time, transform their health. The person who saves a little money consistently will eventually achieve financial freedom. The person who spends a few minutes each day learning something new will soon become an expert. Every great achievement is the sum of small habits compounded over time. The principle of compounding doesn't just apply to money. It applies to effort, discipline, and focus. Just like interest accumulates in a bank account, your daily choices accumulate in your life. Every small act of discipline strengthens your willpower. Every small step toward your goal increases your momentum. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes effortless, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The power lies in consistency. Doing the small things even when you don't see immediate progress. Because progress often hides behind the scenes, quietly building strength until one day it bursts into visible success. When you commit to small daily actions, you create a ripple effect that transforms every area of your life. One small decision today can shift your mindset, influence your habits, and eventually change your destiny. The person who chooses to think positively every morning trains their mind to focus on growth instead of fear. The one who expresses gratitude daily rewires their brain to see abundance instead of lack. The one who sets small goals and completes them builds confidence with every success. Small actions build character, and character builds results. It's the little things done consistently that separate those who dream from those who achieve. Success doesn't come from doing extraordinary things once. It comes from doing ordinary things extraordinarily well every single day. Many people chase big breakthroughs while ignoring the small habits that create them. They want the reward without embracing the process. But the process is where strength is built. When you focus on doing small things right, being punctual, staying organized, improving 1% every day, you create a foundation that supports bigger victories. The world often celebrates results, but results are just the reflection of countless small efforts that went unnoticed. Behind every champion's victory, there are hours of unseen practice. Behind every successful business, there are countless small decisions made with discipline. Behind every fulfilled person, there are daily habits rooted in purpose. Small daily actions also build resilience. When you commit to small goals and keep your promises to yourself, you develop self-trust. You prove to yourself that you can follow through, even on the days you don't feel like it. That inner confidence becomes the fuel that drives bigger achievements. Success doesn't require massive bursts of effort. It requires steady, intentional persistence. It's not about running fast once. It's about walking steadily every day in the right direction. The path to greatness is paved with small, consistent steps, not giant leaps. Every day gives you an opportunity to make progress or to stay the same. The power lies in your daily routine. The way you spend your morning determines your energy. The way you spend your evening determines your recovery. The way you manage your minutes determines your life. People often underestimate how much small actions matter because they can't see the immediate difference. But change doesn't happen linearly. It happens exponentially. The results may look invisible for a while, but then they appear all at once. The person who practices patience and persistence reaps a harvest that others mistake for sudden success. Your habits today are creating your future, whether you realize it or not. Every small action, every page you read, every workout you complete, every skill you practice, every thought you entertain is shaping the person you're becoming. If you want to change your life, you don't need to start big, you need to start consistent. Replace one bad habit with a good one. Make one better choice each day. Improve just one area of your life by 1% daily. The difference may seem minor now, but over time, those small improvements multiply into extraordinary transformation. Those who succeed understand that progress is not about intensity, but about direction. It's about showing up again and again and again, regardless of how you feel. It's about doing something small every day that moves you closer to your vision. Truth is every step counts. Every action matters. You may not notice the growth immediately, but it's happening beneath the surface. The small disciplines you practice today will become the defining habits of tomorrow. And one day when you look back, you'll realize that it wasn't luck, it wasn't coincidence, it was the accumulation of small daily actions that shaped your destiny. Discipline builds champions in private moments. It's not the spotlight that makes a person great. It's the quiet hours when no one is watching. The unseen sacrifices, the daily choices that seem insignificant but carry immense power. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the hopeful from the unstoppable. It is the ability to stay consistent even when the excitement fades, to push forward when the applause is gone, and to keep doing what's necessary when no one is there to recognize your effort. The real battles of success are not fought in public. They are fought and won in the mind. In the discipline of private moments when it would be easier to give up than to keep going. Champions are not made on stage. They are made in silence. The athlete who dominates the field has spent countless early mornings training alone while the world slept. The speaker who moves crowds has spent hours rehearsing when no one cared to listen. The leader who inspires millions has faced moments of doubt and fear, but chose to stay committed to their vision. These private moments, the ones hidden from the world's eyes, are where greatness is born. Discipline is the invisible strength that fuels those moments, shaping ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. True discipline doesn't depend on feelings, it depends on commitment. There will be days when motivation disappears, when the body is tired and the mind seeks comfort. But discipline whispers, keep going. It's the inner voice that pushes you to do what needs to be done, not because you feel like it, but because it aligns with who you want to become. Discipline doesn't seek permission from emotion, it acts according to purpose. The disciplined person understands that success is not a result of occasional effort. It's a product of consistent obedience to your goals. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen the muscle that builds champions. Private discipline creates public victory. The reason most people never rise above average is because they only work hard when others are watching. They crave validation instead of mastery. But champions understand that excellence is a private pursuit long before it becomes a public reward. It's in the early mornings, the long nights, the quiet hours of repetition, and the lonely sacrifices that greatness takes root. Discipline trains you to keep your word to yourself, to hold your standards high even when no one is checking. It's about becoming accountable to your purpose, not to applause. Discipline teaches endurance. Every small act of self-control builds the strength to resist what's easy and pursue what's right. The person who practices discipline in small things develops the resilience to handle greater challenges. When you control your habits, you control your life. Champions understand this. They don't wait for perfect conditions to act. They show up regardless of how they feel, knowing that consistency beats intensity. They understand that the private grind is what prepares them for the public stage. What others see as natural talent is, in truth, the result of disciplined repetition performed behind closed doors. In private moments, discipline shapes identity. It defines who you are when no one else is around. When you choose to wake up early, to train when tired, to study when others rest, you are building not just skill, but character. You are proving to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. Discipline transforms your inner dialogue from doubt to determination. It builds confidence not through empty words, but through proof. Proof that you can depend on yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-belief grows stronger. And with that belief, your capacity for greatness expands. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You can't have everything at once. You must choose what matters most. Every disciplined choice is a trade. Off, sleep for progress, comfort for growth, ease for excellence. Champions understand that sacrifice isn't loss, it's investment. What you give up in the moment returns multiplied in the future. Every skipped distraction, every controlled urge, every disciplined act is a deposit into the account of your destiny. Those private sacrifices are what give you the power to stand strong when the pressure rises in public. Many people admire the results of champions but rarely understand the process. They see the medals, the fame, the confidence, but not the countless repetitions, the failures, the quiet determination that made it possible. The truth is, discipline isn't glamorous. It's hard, it's repetitive, and it often feels unrewarding in the moment. But it's in those very moments that the roots of greatness deepen. The person willing to endure the monotony of daily discipline is the one who earns the right to experience breakthrough. Every disciplined act builds momentum, and that momentum eventually turns effort into excellence. Discipline also protects you from regret. When you live with discipline, you live with intention. You no longer drift through life reacting to circumstances. You create your path through action. The undisciplined mind wastes time and energy chasing fleeting pleasures, but the disciplined mind channels its power toward purpose. Discipline gives you control over your direction, ensuring that every day counts. When you look back years later, you realize that your private discipline was the foundation of every victory you ever achieved. In the end, the quiet moments of discipline define the loud moments of success. The unseen hours spent perfecting your craft, the lonely sacrifices made when no one else believed, the silent battles fought between comfort and commitment. All of these moments build the strength, skill, and mindset of a champion. Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's the unwavering decision to show up, to give your best, and to honor your goals no matter how you feel. Every champion you admire was once an ordinary person who chose discipline in the privacy of their journey. Focus and persistence overpower distractions. In a world filled with constant noise, endless notifications, and fleeting temptations, the ability to stay focused has become a rare and powerful skill. Success belongs to those who can lock their attention on a goal and keep moving forward despite interruptions, setbacks, and delays. Focus directs your energy, and persistence sustains it. When these two forces work together, distractions lose their power, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. The truth is, distractions are not the real enemy. Lack of focus is. Every day you are presented with a choice to give your attention to what matters or to waste it on what doesn't. The disciplined mind chooses the first path, knowing that greatness requires concentration and endurance. Focus is the art of narrowing your vision to one purpose. It means ignoring what's urgent to prioritize what's important. It requires training your mind to resist the lure of instant gratification and keep your eyes fixed on the long-term prize. People often fail not because they lack potential, but because they scatter their energy across too many things. They start projects they never finish, chase trends instead of purpose, and wonder why success feels out of reach. True progress comes when you commit your attention to a single direction and guard it fiercely. Every time you focus deeply, you build the muscle of concentration. Every time you return your attention after distraction, you strengthen your willpower. Over time, focus becomes your superpower. Persistence gives that focus its strength. Focus without persistence fades under pressure, but persistence keeps the fire alive. It is the quality that keeps you moving when progress feels slow, when results don't show, when challenges multiply. Persistent people don't give up because they understand that mastery takes time. They know that success is rarely about speed. It's about endurance. Every failure becomes feedback. Every obstacle becomes a lesson. Every delay becomes an opportunity to grow. Persistence transforms frustration into fuel and doubt into determination. When combined with focus, it turns vision into reality. Distractions are everywhere, and they disguise themselves as opportunities. They pull your mind in 100 directions, offering short-term pleasure but long-term emptiness. Social media, entertainment, gossip, and worry. All of these compete for your attention, but focus is about saying no to what doesn't serve your purpose. It's about choosing silence over noise, depth over speed, purpose over popularity. The most successful people in any field are not the ones doing the most things. They're the ones doing the right things with absolute concentration. They understand that every distraction costs time, and time is life. By protecting their focus, they protect their destiny. Persistence teaches you patience. In a culture obsessed with quick results, persistence reminds you that true success takes time to mature. You cannot rush growth. You can only nurture it. When you persist through setbacks, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than circumstances. Every time you get up after falling, you reinforce the belief that nothing can stop you. Persistence turns struggle into strength and resistance into resilience. It's not glamorous, and it's often lonely, but it's what keeps dreams alive when enthusiasm fades. Without persistence, even the most focused mind will crumble under the weight of adversity. With it, you become unstoppable. Focus and persistence together create momentum. Focus aligns your direction. Persistence keeps you in motion. When distractions arise, persistence brings you back to your path. Every great achievement is built on this combination. The focus to see the goal clearly, and the persistence to keep going until it's done. The writer who finishes a book, the athlete who perfects their form, the entrepreneur who builds a business, all of them succeed not because of luck, but because they chose to stay focused when others lost interest and persistent when others quit. The more you stay consistent, the more your focus sharpens. The more you endure, the stronger your mental clarity becomes. Focus also brings peace. When your mind is scattered, anxiety grows. When your mind is centered, power flows. Distractions drain your energy, but focus channels it towards something meaningful. The ability to focus on one task at a time allows you to perform with excellence instead of mediocrity. When your energy isn't divided, your results multiply. The world celebrates multitasking, but true mastery comes from single tasking with intensity. The focused person achieves in months what the distracted person fails to achieve in years. The persistent person stays when others move on, and that patience becomes the bridge between effort and achievement. Persistence builds habits that make focus easier. When you show up daily, even in small ways, your mind learns discipline. You begin to crave progress instead of distraction. Over time, what once required effort becomes instinct. The habit of persistence rewires your brain to push through boredom, frustration, and uncertainty. Most people give up too soon, not because they can't succeed, but because they lack the persistence to stay long enough for their focus to bear fruit. Every breakthrough happens right after the moment when quitting feels easiest. Persistence keeps you alive through that moment and pushes you into victory. Focus and persistence are also acts of respect. Respect for your time, your purpose, and your potential. When you choose to stay focused, you are declaring that your dream matters more than temporary pleasure. When you persist despite hardship, you are proving that your vision is stronger than your pain. These two traits form the foundation of discipline, and discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. No great life, no great work, no lasting success is ever built without them. Every distraction resisted is a step closer to mastery. Every time you persist through discomfort, you train your spirit to rise above mediocrity. Focus gives clarity to your path, and persistence ensures you never stop walking it. Together, they create unstoppable momentum that outlasts failure, fatigue, and fear. They turn chaos into direction and resistance into growth. In the quiet moments when the world tells you to give up, focus reminds you why you started, and persistence reminds you to finish. Success is a lifestyle, not a single event. It's not something that happens once and then ends. It's a continuous process of growth, discipline, and intentional living. Many people view success as a destination, a moment when everything falls into place, when recognition arrives, when the dream is finally achieved. But true success is not about one big moment. It's about the countless small decisions, daily habits, and consistent actions that shape who you become over time. It's a mindset, a way of thinking, and living that influences every area of life. Success is not found in what you achieve once, but in what you repeatedly do every day when no one is watching. Success begins with a choice. The choice to commit to a way of living that aligns with purpose, excellence, and growth. It's built in the details, the way you manage your time, treat people, handle challenges, and respond to setbacks. It's not about waiting for opportunities, but creating them through preparation and perseverance. People often chase moments of success, believing that if they can just reach that one milestone, happiness and fulfillment will follow. But real success cannot be confined to a single event, because achievement without consistency fades quickly. Success is sustained by habits that support your values and vision long after the applause stops. A successful lifestyle means showing up with purpose every single day. It's about living with intention rather than drifting through life reacting to circumstances. You can't switch success on and off like a light. It's a daily commitment to your goals, your health, your relationships, and your growth. It's in waking up early to plan your day, learning something new when you could be scrolling, and maintaining integrity when no one would notice if you didn't. Success as a lifestyle means that excellence becomes your standard, not your exception. You don't act disciplined once. You live disciplined always. This kind of success requires long-term thinking. It's easy to get caught up in short-term wins, getting a promotion, earning recognition, achieving a goal, but real success is about sustainability. Can you keep growing after the victory? Can you stay humble when success arrives? Can you maintain your standards when no one is keeping score? That's the test of whether success has become your lifestyle. The people who build lasting legacies are not those who achieve once, but those who continuously refine themselves, staying hungry, grounded, and focused no matter how much they've already achieved. When success becomes a lifestyle, it shapes your identity. It's no longer about what you do, it's about who you are. You stop identifying as someone who tries and start identifying as someone who becomes. You develop habits that naturally lead to excellence, consistency in your work, discipline in your actions, gratitude in your heart. These qualities create momentum that no single event could ever produce. When success becomes part of your character, you don't need to chase results. Results begin to chase you. You attract opportunities because your actions, habits, and mindset align with success itself. Living a successful lifestyle also means embracing the process as much as the outcome. Most people love the reward but dislike the routine. They want the celebration but not the preparation. But those who see success as a lifestyle find joy in the journey. They learn to love the grind, the repetition, the quiet work that builds strength. They understand that each day is a chance to improve, and improvement itself is success. It's not about reaching the top once. It's about climbing higher every day, knowing that growth never stops. When you approach success as a lifestyle, every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every setback becomes a lesson. and every effort becomes a step forward. Success as a lifestyle is also deeply connected to self-mastery. It means having control over your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. It's the ability to stay focused when distractions appear, to stay calm when chaos strikes, and to stay committed when progress feels slow. It's not built on temporary motivation, but on disciplined habits that carry you through the days you don't feel inspired. The truly successful don't depend on moods, they depend on systems. They build routines that keep them aligned with their purpose, even when their emotions waver. Moreover, success as a lifestyle is holistic. It's not limited to wealth, career, or recognition. It extends to health, peace of mind, relationships, and personal growth. A person who is successful in business but bankrupt in spirit is not truly successful. A lifestyle of success means striving for balance, nurturing your body, mind, and soul with the same intensity you give to your goals. It means being kind, generous, and grateful, not just ambitious. Success is not just about how high you climb, but about how well you live along the way. When success becomes your lifestyle, you stop comparing yourself to others. You no longer measure your progress by someone else's timeline, because your focus is on becoming better than you were yesterday. You recognize that success is personal, and it grows at the pace of your discipline and persistence. You begin to appreciate the invisible victories, the self-control you showed today, the patience you practiced, the consistency you maintained. Those small internal wins build the foundation for external triumphs. Success as a lifestyle also demands humility. It teaches you that there's always more to learn, more to give, more to become. You stop chasing validation and start pursuing growth. You realize that success is not a trophy you hold, but a journey you walk daily with intention and gratitude. The lifestyle of success is not glamorous all the time. It's filled with challenges, sacrifices, and quiet perseverance. But through those experiences, you evolve into someone who no longer needs to prove success, because you live it naturally through your actions, attitude, and values. Every habit today defines your tomorrow. The choices you make right now, the routines you follow, and the actions you repeat each day quietly shape the person you are becoming and the future you are building. Life doesn't change in a single moment. It changes gradually through the habits you form and the consistency you maintain. Every repeated behavior writes a line in the story of your destiny. Your habits either move you closer to your goals or slowly pull you away from them. The truth is, your future is not determined by chance or luck, but by the patterns you practice daily. You don't become successful overnight. You become successful by practicing success in small ways every day. Habits are powerful because they create momentum. Once you repeat an action often enough, it becomes automatic. You no longer have to think about it. It becomes part of who you are. That's why habits can either work for you or against you. The small decisions you make today might not seem like much, but they compound over time into major results. Waking up early, reading instead of scrolling, saving instead of spending, exercising instead of procrastinating. All of these actions seem small in the moment, but each one builds discipline and self-control. The same is true in reverse. Neglecting small responsibilities, ignoring goals, and giving in to distraction may feel harmless today, but those small choices accumulate into regret. Your habits are the architects of your future. Every great achievement begins with the foundation of consistent routines. The person who wants to become fit doesn't need one intense workout. They need daily movement. The one who wants to become financially free doesn't need one lucky investment. They need the habit of managing money wisely. The student who wants to excel doesn't need one night of cramming. They need the daily habit of learning and curiosity. Success and failure are not one-time events. They are the natural outcomes of habits practiced consistently over time. What you do daily is far more important than what you do occasionally. Occasional effort may give you temporary results, but daily effort transforms your identity. The key to lasting success is to align your habits with your goals. You cannot expect a future of excellence while living with habits of comfort. If you want to change your life, you must change what you do consistently. Every small improvement compounds, and every small neglect accumulates. The difference between where you are and where you want to be lies in the habits you practice between those 2 points. Habits don't just shape actions, they shape identity. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you cast a vote for the kind of person you want to become. When you choose to be disciplined instead of distracted, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and focused. When you choose health over comfort, you affirm that you value growth over ease. Over time, these small votes build a powerful self-image. You begin to see yourself as the person who follows through, who improves, who succeeds. That identity fuels even stronger habits, creating a cycle of growth and confidence that transforms your future. Habits are also mirrors. They reflect your priorities. If you want to know what kind of future you're creating, look at what you do repeatedly. Are your habits aligned with your vision, or are they sabotaging it? The future doesn't arrive by accident, it arrives by design. You design it with your choices, with what you tolerate, with what you repeat. It's easy to blame circumstances, but your habits reveal your true level of commitment. You can't control everything that happens in life, but you can control how you respond. And your response, practiced daily, becomes habit. Over time, those habits determine how resilient, focused, and successful you become. The challenge is that habits are formed in silence. Their impact is not seen immediately, which is why many people give up before seeing results. The habits that build strong futures often feel uncomfortable at first. Waking up early, exercising regularly, studying consistently, these are not easy. But what begins as effort eventually becomes automatic. The secret is persistence through the early stages, where the effort feels greater than the reward. Once momentum builds, habits take over, and progress becomes natural. The small disciplines practiced today become effortless strengths tomorrow. Every habit carries a consequence. Good habits create freedom. Bad habits create bondage. The person who builds the habit of self-control lives freely, while the one who gives in to impulse becomes a prisoner to their desires. The person who builds the habit of focus moves steadily toward their dreams, while the one who nurtures distraction drifts away from purpose. Your habits determine whether you build or break, grow or decline, move forward or stay stagnant. The truth is, your future self will either thank you or blame you for the habits you practice today. To change your tomorrow, you must take responsibility for your habits today. That begins with awareness, observing your routines, your triggers, and your choices. Once you recognize the habits that no longer serve you, you can replace them with ones that align with your vision. You don't have to change everything at once. You just have to start with one habit at a time. Small, consistent improvements create long-term transformation. Repetition creates reinforcement, and reinforcement creates reality. The key is to stay consistent long enough for a habit to take root. When you realize that every habit defines your tomorrow, you begin to live with greater intention. You start treating each day as a building block rather than a throwaway moment. Every morning becomes an opportunity to strengthen a positive habit or weaken a negative one. Over time, these choices compound into a life that reflects the values, goals, and dreams you hold. The future you desire is not waiting in some distant place. It's being built right now through what you repeatedly do. Think and believe. Success is not a matter of luck, chance, or momentary achievement. It is the result of consistent habits, focused effort, and daily discipline. Every small decision you make, every action you repeat, and every moment you choose growth over comfort becomes a building block for your future. The path to greatness is not paved with sudden breakthroughs, but with the quiet strength to keep going when no one is watching. Success is not an event you wait for, it is a lifestyle you live, shaped by focus, persistence, and purpose. When you understand that your habits today define your tomorrow, you begin to treat each day as an investment in your destiny. True success belongs to those who build it brick by brick, moment by moment, habit by habit, until excellence becomes their natural way of living.